Welcome back to IGN Live at Gamescom, brought to you by Homefront the Revolution. I'm here with Victor today.
Hello.
Victor, what did you bring to show us?
Well, I brought you our upcoming action RPG, which is called Warhammer 40K Inquisitor Martyr. It's from Neocore Games.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a different look to this one. Like you have a cover system in place, and it's sort of Diablo-esque.
Well, we wanted to improve the classical action RPG elements. We have everything what makes an action RPG working, but at the same time we have improved a lot, because in this particular universe, violence, destruction and war is a constant factor, and we wanted to convey the feeling that you are in the middle of a war, which means that while we have the same camera angle as we had in the Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing, we have plenty of new things like the cover system. You can use the covers, the enemies can use the covers. They have an AI which sends them out alerts. They have leaders. They come in smaller numbers than in a usual action RPG. So it's quite different. It's quite fun.
Now you're actually the narrative designer, correct?
That's right.
What can fans expect about the storyline of this game?
Well, we have a story mode and we have an open world game mode, which are two different modes for playing the Inquisitor. But the story itself is a self-contained plot. It has a beginning, a middle, and the end. And the open world game mode is set in a persistent sandbox sector. And, well, 40K fans might know that a sector is a vast area. It encompasses hundreds of star systems, thousands of planets. And the story mode itself, it is a single-player experience, single-player only, which tells you a very, very 40K story about a mystery with deep roots in the past of the Inquisition. And the open world campaign will have an ongoing storyline, which is mostly influenced by the individual decisions of single players, and it is kept alive all the time by giving you special events where you can participate, lots of DLCs and content patches. The story itself is a series of action RPG maps tied together, and the open world game mode is basically hundreds and hundreds of open mission action RPG maps with different objective types, random generated maps. So we have both modes have, I think, very long hours of entertainment for the players.
Well, people are definitely going to like that. What are we looking at here right now?
We are looking at it's a glimpse at the gameplay and a glimpse at the story, actually. It is a Crusader class Inquisitor that we see here. We will have 3 available classes. This young man in about, 3 tons of steel is going to be your tank type character, if you want to. He's capable of melee attacks, ranged attacks, and as you can see right now, we have improved a lot in the weapon systems as well, and weapons can overheat. Sometimes you have to reload.
Okay.
It's all new. And
that's pretty cool.
Yep.
What are his melee type weapons? Looks like he pulled out a sword.
Yes, I think that as we've progressed with the story, you can see here a fine example of what makes the 40K universe unique. It's a servitor, a mindless drone of metal and flesh. We are going to have a chainsword, which is a very, very particular 40K weapon. It has a lovely buzz. It's actually a chainsaw fused with a sword. And it has various, all skills are tied to weapons, and all weapons have different attack modes, which means that, for example, with the chainsword, you will be capable of dealing out sort of execution-style killings, which is something that Warhammer 40K game should contain, we always thought. And just like the colossal sizes, it's just the right time to show you how colossal this game could be. And this is just one of the maps from the story mode, and this is just one of the decks on a spaceship, which is the focus of the story. It's a ghost ship scenario, basically.
Oh, interesting.
With a twist.
So you're kind of investigating what happened to the crew.
Yes, you are investigating what happened to the crew and to your crew as well, because we wanted to achieve that very particularly claustrophobic horror feel of the ghost ship scenarios, but at the same time, there are some small twists. For example, this ship itself is a spaceship and a monastery, because in the 40K world we have a very unique mixture of medieval and futuristic, space gothic, if I can say so. And you're an Inquisitor, which means that you are going to be just as fearsome as the monsters on the decks. We have here an infestation of one of the gods of chaos, and as you can see, we try to remain very faithful to the atmosphere and to that very, very dark and sometimes bloody feeling of the 40K world.
Yeah, the weapons seem really powerful, and you can kind of tell that something's not right here, where there's like an infection all over the place.
Yes, that was our purpose. And if I mention destruction, I should also add that in the final gameplay there will be controllable weapon systems, and at certain points of the plot and the inquisitorial open world mode, there will be vehicles as well, very particularly 40K vehicles that you can use. And while we are here, I think we are approaching one of the bosses, which is basically the perfect time to show you how big everything in this world is. And this boss, which is not even the biggest one in the game, is a very perfect candidate to show you that we have introduced another new thing, which is the attackable body zones. Oh, you just saw that?
Interesting. Yeah, you can like blow off his arm.
You can blow off basically every special area on the body, and by doing that, you destroy its special abilities. So it's basically something that you can use it as a tactical element. We wanted to achieve a more slower, more tactical approach in this game, apart from, besides using all the traditional classic action RPG elements. And as I was mentioning the plot, I have to add that the plot itself, because of this very claustrophobic horror feel, it's a single player only experience, so we wanted to keep it that way. Sometimes the immersion could be ruined by having 3 other people popping up, and you are not that alone and not that afraid anymore. But in the inquisitorial campaign, which could be played right from the beginning, you don't have to go to the story mode to reach the open world campaign, although we strongly recommend it. And as a narrative designer, I'm really would love to see people playing the story
and enjoying it.
But the open world itself, it has the same kind of gameplay. So you're going to see maps with similar layout, but they will be randomly generated, and they will have all different mission types and objectives. So you don't have to fight your way all the time through the same maps, which means that in the open world mode, you are going to have a star map, you're going to have your inquisitorial ship, your inquisitorial followers, and you will be free to wander that sandbox sector that we open up in the story mode and keep on expanding in the inquisitorial campaign. And of course, there you can have cooperative gameplay as well, because we wanted to create a persistent world where the threat level is not progressing with you. So there will be star system planets where the challenge rating is much higher. And we are ready to show players the hard way that, well, maybe you should do some leveling up, or you should invite your friends and play a co-op game. And you're also going to have an inquisitorial fortress. I would like to add that because it's a very, very nice thing to have. It's your own headquarters where you keep your loot, you keep your followers, and this is also our way to introduce an indirect PvP, because the Inquisition in this world is a very unified force, but in the shadows there are plenty different factions squabbling over some details, which sometimes lead to attacks on other factions. So you as a player will be able to attack other Inquisitors' fortresses, and other Inquisitors will be able to attack your fortress. And they won't attack you personally, not the character.
But they'll give you a bit of a headache.
Yes, because they are going to deal with your weapon systems, your defense grid, your fortifications, because you can improve and customize your fortress. And yes, if they are victorious, they can get away with your loot. So I think that when you make a guy like this angry, it's always
it could end badly.
Always end badly. And he's just one of the 3 classes we have. The other 2 classes will be quite different. They will be representing a different approach of being an Inquisitor, because Inquisitors in the 40k world they have much more freedom to deal with the enemies of the Imperium of Men as others.
What kind of weapons do they use? This guy's very gun heavy and sword heavy. What do they utilize?
The other classes, the other classes, the question of the topic of other classes is something that we would like to share a bit later. We are really planning to give out a constant flow of information. So the only thing I can tell you about the other classes now is that one of them will be a female Inquisitor.
Oh, okay.
They are all specialists. They are all going to have very special weapons and skills tied to that very specific weapons. And they are all going to be very, very interesting to play with.
Okay. You said each of the dungeons are unique, so they're all randomly generated?
Yes.
So if we come to this later, would that boss still be there every time?
This is a map from the story mode, so this will be the same. But in the open world Inquisitorial campaign, you might see similar maps to this, like not this exact cathedral, but something very similar to this. There will be planets and moons as well, so you're going to see outside areas, both in the plot and in the Inquisitorial campaign. So this is a bit too early to discuss the details of the randomly generated maps, because we are really counting on that feature as a very special feature. So all I can tell you about them now is that they are going to be very, very unique, and we are going to give a lot of freedom for players. So we don't want to see players getting bored, because we are planning to release a game which will be capable of entertaining players for years. So our main purpose here is to create a persistent universe which is very much alive, with missions which are very diverse.
When deciding to use like a cover system and do this sort of style, what were some of your inspirations?
I think that one of the inspirations was the Warhammer 40K world as it is. It's a universe which is at constant war. So we wanted to evoke the feeling of warfare. And well, we like challenges. So this is the very first action RPG set in the 40K universe, and it's a challenge in itself. And we wanted to refresh the action RPG genre a bit. So we wanted to implement things that haven't been done before. So that's the reason why, for example, the cover system was something that we wanted to experiment with, or the use of the cover system. Like, we can't see that now because all the enemies are, well, they were just eradicated. But for example, if you turn around the cover, then the creatures there are going to flee to the other side of the cover. So they will be trying to hide there. So this is something that we are very proud of.
What do you think fans are going to really love about this game?
I think that, well, 40K fans, I think, will be very delighted by how we evoked the word they love and we love. We are 40K fans as well. And for action RPG fans and for anyone who would like to have a very, very, very fun time, I think that the visuals, the game mechanics, and the very, very constant and long progression will be a very entertaining factor. And I hope so that the story will be loved as well.
When did you start crafting the narrative?
Well, we started working on this project after we released Van Helsing, Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing, but it was done by a small team. We had various other projects going on, and it really kicked into development this spring when we released the third part in the Van Helsing series. So I think that I've been working on the plot for more than a year now.
Oh, wow.
Even maybe 2 years, but it's an on-off thing. And well, we want to be true and very faithful to the source material. So we always, check in with Games Workshop as well.
Well, Victor, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much
and
for having
showcasing
me.
your game.
Thank you.
Guys, stay with us. Thank you for joining us. And keep it locked right here on IGN Live at Gamescom, brought to you by Homefront: The Revolution.